We rolling? Okay, we rolling. First and foremost, Merry Christmas to everybody, all the A-King Bro family. Thank you guys for tuning in this impromptu video. And pretty much since today is the 25th of December, I'm going to be giving you guys the 25 greatest matches, in my opinion, in no particular order, of the 25 greatest matches in WWE/WWF history. In my opinion, no order whatsoever. I'm just naming matches, 25 matches that I feel are the greatest, that had everything, at the crowd involvement, the wrestling, the storytelling, everything. These are the matches that I feel, when I watched them, felt like, man, this match is freaking great. This match is freaking phenomenal. And each match, I'm gonna give like a brief little summary of it, of what I think of it, and then just keep it moving. So first match I want to talk about was number one, not in order, but the first match I wrote down: John Cena versus CM Punk from Money in the Bank 2011. This is definitely one of the greatest matches John Cena's ever had. One of the greatest matches in WWE history. CM Punk's best match, Cena's best match. CM Punk was white hot around this time. He cut that scathing, that pipe bomb promo back on the June 27, 2011 Raw. That's when he got steamed. Summer of Punk, right in the middle of Summer of Punk. Money in the Bank took place in Chicago that year. CM Punk's contract expired at 12 a.m. that night. He was threatening to leave the WWE with the WWE title if he beat John Cena. And that's what he did. He beat John Cena. He left. He didn't leave for long. He came back 2 weeks later. But the build-up, the story, the atmosphere being Chicago, CM Punk's home crowd, it was just off the charts, and that's why it's one of my favorite matches of all time. Next up, we got Stone Cold and The Rock from WrestleMania 17. Stone Cold and The Rock, two of the greatest in the business. You don't have to watch wrestling for people to know who they are. I can go up to some random guy in the mall, in the freaking store, and be like, "Hey man, do you know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is?" He can be like, "Hell yeah!" Or I can go to a kid and say, "Hey man, do you know who The Rock is?" He gonna be like, "If you smell." Anyways, but Stone Cold and The Rock, main event at WrestleMania 17. Stone Cold has been back about 6 months after his neck injury. Two of the biggest stars in the business went at it. This is when, of course, people know this is when Stone Cold turned heel and aligned himself with Vince McMahon. The match was fast paced. There was no rest holds. There was no chin locks. None of that wrist locks. None of that garbage. It was fast paced. It was like they were running a marathon throughout the whole match. Oh man, Rock was invisible that night. He was kicking at a chair shot, stunners, rock bottoms, everything, the whole nine, everything. Stone Cold's throwing at him. And Stone Cold eventually got the job done with the Vince McMahon's help. But definitely one of the greatest matches of all time. Probably the greatest WrestleMania main event of all time. WrestleMania 17, check it out on the network. Next up, we got from WrestleMania 24, Ric Flair's last WWE match. Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair in a retirement match. Now, that was the storyline where Vince McMahon said that if Ric Flair loses another singles match, he will be forced to retire. And it was Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. Match was phenomenal. It was actually my first pay-per-view. WrestleMania 24 was actually my first pay-per-view that I bought. And that match, watching that live, was like, man, the storytelling at the end, Shawn Michaels was like, "I'm sorry, I love you." Ric Flair had his hands up saying, I still got life in me. Shawn Michaels hit Sweet Chin Music reluctantly. And that was the end of Ric Flair's WWE career. Man. The match had everything: the emotion, the crowd, the storytelling, of course. Man, Ric Flair had his age too. He had to be at least about 60 plus years old in that match. And they had the best match, the second best match on the show. So, that's definitely one of the greatest matches of all time, in my opinion. Next, we got The Rock versus Kurt Angle from No Way Out 2001. And that was Steve Austin had won the Royal Rumble that year. He had won the 2001 Royal Rumble. And it was pretty obvious at that point that The Rock, Stone Cold and The Rock were set to clash. But The Rock needed a way to get to the main event of WrestleMania. So it was The Rock versus Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was the WWF champion at the time. And these two went collision course, No Way Out. The match had everything. The crowd was hot. The match was great. Kurt Angle put on a hell of a performance. He was kicking out of rock bottoms, everything The Rock was throwing at him. Rock did the same thing. It was, man, it was fast paced. It was just everything you wanted in a championship match, main event championship match. And I feel it's one of Kurt Angle's best matches. So next up, we're talking about from WrestleMania 29, the real main event of WrestleMania. That should have been the main event of WrestleMania 29. CM Punk versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 29. Undertaker, obviously, of course, he still had a streak going. And, no one thought CM Punk was actually going to win. They built this storyline around the death of Paul Bearer, rest in peace, Paul Bearer. Undertaker was, CM Punk was taunting Paul Bearer, with the urn, mocking him or whatever. CM Punk was just trying to get under Undertaker's skin. And he said he would do anything it takes for the Undertaker to lose. That includes DQ, count out, all that stuff. CM Punk, that match was just phenomenal. CM Punk was copying everything Undertaker did. He did the what do you call it? The old school. He did the old school Undertaker. He kicked out a last rise, tombstones, choke slam. CM Punk was kicking at everything Undertaker was throwing at him. But Undertaker eventually he prevailed. Undertaker got the W. And as we know, the next year he will lose his streak to Brock Lesnar. But the match, WrestleMania 29, it was definitely the best match of WrestleMania 29, Punk and Taker. Other matches on that 29 card was obviously Rock and Cena, Triple H and Brock Lesnar, unsanctioned match, whatever. But Punk and Undertaker stole the show. Should have been the main event. That just it is. It is what it is, Next, we got the greatest, in my honest opinion, the greatest ladder match in WWE history. Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho for the World Heavyweight Championship at No Mercy 2008 in a ladder match. Now, this match, besides from obviously the TLC matches, from WrestleMania 17, all these other matches, this match between these two competitors, first and foremost, Shawn Michaels and Jericho had the best feud of 2008 in the year 2008. Chris Jericho was hot as a heel. Man, they used the ladder. It was a ladder match. They used the ladder in any way you can possibly use a ladder. They weren't just jumping around, flying on spots. They told a story with the ladder. They used the ladder to the advantage. They used the ladder as the only weapon. They used the ladder the most. And the finish was great. When Lance Cade, rest in peace, Lance Cade got involved. As a heel being a heel, he had his apprentice help him, his sidekick help him, Chris Jericho. Man, that it was the greatest ladder match ever. Honestly, in my opinion. Honestly. No Mercy 08. Check that out on the network. Next up, we got Triple H versus Cactus Jack from Royal Rumble 2000. Now, this is where Triple H started getting his name as the Cerebral Assassin. As his name, his reputation of being ruthless, being overly aggressive. Like I said in the video before, Mick Foley, aka Cactus Jack, brought out that extra layer that Triple H needed. He made Triple H look like $1 million. He forced Triple H to get he got the best out of Triple H. And this Royal Rumble 2000 match was brutal. It was hectic. Of course, Triple H won. Man, they had thumbtacks, you had chairs, you had the whole nine. Thumbtacks, everything. And Cactus sold everything perfectly. It was believable. He got his shots in, Triple H got his shots in, but at the end, Triple H won. One of the greatest matches of all time, brutal, one of the brutalest matches of all time. It was just hectic, it was crazy. Next, we got Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart from Survivor Series 96. One of the greatest technically sound matches I've ever seen in my life watching wrestling. Anybody who likes technical wrestling, anybody who likes, slow-paced, methodical type wrestling, watch this match. Watch this match. And this one, Stone Cold, he was relatively new in the WWE, coming from WCW. After becoming, Stunning Steve Austin came in. And Stone Cold Steve Austin was, he was getting steam at this point. And this match showed that he's not just some brawler. Stone Cold can work. Stone Cold can work a technical actual wrestling match. And this is an example of it. So check it out. Survivor Series 96, Stone Cold, Bret Hart. Next up, we got John Cena. Another John Cena. John Cena versus CM Punk from Night of Champions 2012 in Boston, Mass. This match was crazy. I remember streaming this match on my computer, before the night before school. It was on Sunday, of course. And this match, CM Punk was on this heel run. He was talking about, people don't respect my reign. I've been champion for over about a year now. I'm not main eventing any shows. I'm not the poster boy. My face not on cups at 7-Eleven. And John Cena is like, you want to earn my respect? Beat me in my hometown, in front of my family, in front of my friends, in front of my people. Then you earn my respect. So CM Punk goes in there, man. CM Punk throwing the whole nine. He doing rock bottoms, go to sleeps, anaconda vices, everything you can think of. Cena kicks out. Cena doing everything. Doing, attitude adjustments, STFUs, everything. Punk kicking out of it. CM Punk, John Cena, chemistry was on fire that night. Night of Champions 2012. And as we all know, that match ended in a draw. So CM Punk didn't lose the title. But that match was crazy. So many kickouts, so many, the drama. It was drama. The drama was up here. It was high. Night of Champions 2012, one of the greatest matches, in my opinion, in WWE history. Next up, we got Edge versus The Undertaker. WrestleMania 24. Edge's first WrestleMania main event. Oh, man, this match, like I said earlier, Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels was the second best match on the show. This is the best match on the show. Edge versus The Undertaker. Edge and Undertaker was basically, outside of Jericho and HBK, this was the feud of 2008. Edge aligned himself with La Familia, Vicky Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero, the Edge heads, all that. Undertaker had to keep overcoming the odds, every SmackDown, every pay-per-view, and all culminated at WrestleMania. Undertaker beat those odds. He overcame all that, won the championship from Edge in the tap out. Edge was countering everything Undertaker did. That was the story. Edge was countering everything Undertaker did, from the tombstone to the last ride, everything. Old school. Edge was outsmarting the Undertaker. He was outsmarting the Undertaker, and Undertaker at the end was resilient enough to get him in the Hell's Gate for Edge to tap, and Edge loses the championship, and Undertaker stayed undefeated at WrestleMania. Probably one of Edge's best matches of all time. One of Undertaker's greatest matches. Watch that match for WrestleMania 24, the main event. Next up, we got HBK. Shawn Michaels and Undertaker from WrestleMania 26 and 25. I'll put 26 over 25 because of the stakes. Streak versus career. Both matches were phenomenal. Oh, man. Can't really say. A lot of people say, universally known, that WrestleMania 25, Taker and HBK, is the greatest match of all time. So I just decided to put those two together. But they're still separate in matches, though. But I just want to talk about them, collectively. Man, both matches, the kickouts, the drama, the story, the emotional. You're emotionally invested into these two characters, these legends, these Hall of Famers who's been in the business for 20 plus years, just going at it. What more can I say about this match? Honestly, check it out. I'm sure most of y'all already have. Triple H versus Batista, Avengers 2005 Hell in a Cell match. This was the beginning of Batista, the beginning of his main event rise as a main event player in the E. One of the top guys that he was going to carry the WWE forward for the next couple years. If there's one guy, a lot of people say Triple H like to bury people. I'm one of those people. Triple H like to bury people. He's made Batista. They fought 3 times. Triple H lost all 3 times. And at this point, Triple H never lost a Hell in a Cell match. Triple H was seen as, the god of the Hell in a Cell. Batista went in there and won. They went to hell. Batista came out on top. At the end of it, it was Batista. Everybody knows, the sledgehammer is Triple H's best friend. The sledgehammer, that's his thing. So Batista was setting Triple H up in the Batista bomb, and Triple H had the sledgehammer. So when Batista lifts him up, it looks like Triple H was going to hit him in the head. But just as he's about to hit him in the head with the sledgehammer, Batista drops him with the Batista bomb. 1, 2, 3, boom. We go home. Batista retains. Man, Avengers 2005 Hell in a Cell, one of the greatest Hell in a Cell matches of all time. Check that bad boy out. brutal. Just blood, just carnage. Hide your children. Man, man. Next up, we have Undertaker. Another Undertaker match versus Triple H from WrestleMania 28 Hell in a Cell match. Now this match didn't necessarily have blood like the origin of Hell in a Cell. You think Hell in a Cell, you think, oh man, it's gonna be lots of blood and all stuff like that. It didn't need that. The storytelling really dominated this match. Of course, Shawn Michaels, special guest referee. Going into this match, you're thinking like, oh man, Shawn Michaels, oh man, Undertaker cost it, ended Shawn Michaels' career. Shawn Michaels gonna screw Undertaker and help his best friend Triple H, whatever. But for the most part, Shawn Michaels caught it down the middle up until when Undertaker put his hands on Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels super kicked Undertaker. Triple H hit the pedigree, and the whole, everybody in Miami that night, everybody watching at home on pay-per-view, illegally streaming, all that, everybody thought that the streak would end right there, but Undertaker kicked out. And after that, Undertaker was just too much. He took over the match and he beat Triple H. And after the match, all three legends in this business, walked up the ramp collectively, holding each other and just looking at the crowd, looking at what they just did. The scene, just three legends, Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, just legends in this business. They put on a masterpiece that night. And it was, I can honestly say, that was the best match of the show. Man, it gets emotional. It has everything. It has everything in that match. You need to check it out. Next, we got Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon from King of the Ring. I want to say King of the Ring 2000. No, I want to say 01. I want to say 01, King of the Ring. It was a street fight. The match was brutal. Shane McMahon's best match in his life. And the Shane McMahon's best match in his life. Shane McMahon didn't have to do any of those bumps or those stunts. He's Vince McMahon's son. He's good. He good. But he went through glass. He went through tables. He took angle slams from the freaking top rope. From the top rope. At the time, that was Kurt Angle's best match. I want to say it's 2001. I believe it's 2001. King of the Ring 2001. This is Shane McMahon's best match. Probably one of the best matches of 2001. And 2001 is arguably the WWE's greatest year. Shane McMahon took a beating in that match. Man. Oh my, I gotta watch the match again. You want to see brutal? You want to see a car crash? You watch that match on King of the Ring 2001. Oh man. Next, we got another Kurt Angle match. Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker from No Way Out 06. Technically sound match. Really brought out Undertaker's side of, just not just brawling, throwing hands, but actually wrestling. Kurt Angle at this point was a freaking machine. There was no cowardly Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was just straight up, anybody wants something, come get it. Like, come on. Like, I'm freaking Kurt Angle. I'm a wrestling machine. I want a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. I will beat anybody, any and all comers. I'll take any and all comers. Come on. That was Kurt Angle at that time. And Kurt Angle brought it to The Undertaker, man. Like, he brought it. He brought it. Like, yo. man, these two had another match a couple weeks later on SmackDown, just as good as the one on No Way Out. But Angle squeezed the win at No Way Out. Taker had him in Hell's Gate, looked all but over. And Kurt Angle used his athleticism to jump forward and flip over Undertaker and have his shoulders pinned to the mat, and he beats Undertaker barely by the skin of his teeth. And Kurt Angle walks away retaining his World Heavyweight Championship. So that one of the greatest matches of all time, probably the best match of 06, to be honest with you. But one of the greatest matches of all time. Check that out. Man, all these matches, dog. Man. Next up, we got another Kurt Angle match. Another Kurt Angle's a freaking beast. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 21. Who hasn't seen this match? Technically sound, storytelling, the drama. This was just about who was the best at that point in time back in 2005. Who was the best? Who's the best? Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels. These two went at it. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And then the finish, Shawn Michaels doing the D for Kurt Angle. You know, Shawn Michaels tapping out and didn't do anything to him. You know, he bounced right back, easy. Shawn Michaels tapped out. They had a rematch at Vengeance 05. Just as good, if not better, than that WrestleMania 21 match. But WrestleMania 21, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, it was freaking fantastic. 5-star, one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. These two had amazing chemistry. I just love their matches, honestly. I just love their matches. Two of the greatest workers in the business ever. Next up, we got AJ freaking Styles, the 2-time WWE champion against 16-time World Heavyweight Champion John Cena at Royal Rumble 2017. Now, this is the match where John Cena officially tied Ric Flair as, 16-time world champions respectively. This match had it all. Of course, everybody's thinking, dang, Cena hasn't beaten Styles at this point yet. They fought at, Money in the Bank and SummerSlam the year prior. Cena hasn't beaten AJ. Can Cena beat AJ to tie Ric Flair? He did just that. It was in the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, back in 2017. Match had drama. The story, of course, like I just said. The wrestling, of course, AJ Styles more kind of carried Cena, but Cena did hold his own. And it was a great match. It was a great match. I didn't like the result, because I feel like AJ was hot, but they did what they did. Cena tied Flair. It is what it is. Next, we got Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle from SummerSlam 2002. This was the opener, and this match was only 10 minutes, but it was the most fast-paced, fun match I've ever seen. 10 minutes of pure straight wrestling, high flying, just mind-blowing type moves. Just it was an opener. SummerSlam 2002 is regarded as probably one of the greatest SummerSlams of all time. Oh man, that match was only 10 minutes tops, but you gotta watch. It will be the quickest 9-10 minutes ever. If you need 10 minutes to go by quickly, if you're waiting for an appointment or something like that, watch this match. It'll fly by. It'll fly. I'm telling you, it'll fly by. Almost at the end here. Edge versus John Cena. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Unforgiven 06. This was in Edge's hometown. If Edge were to win this match, John Cena would leave Raw and go to SmackDown. He already signed a contract, so if Edge won, Cena would go to SmackDown. Raw would be Edge's. And this match, like I said, was in Edge's hometown. And Cena went in there. Edge went in there. They went in there with the mindset like, you know what? We're going to make this the greatest TLC match of all time. And they came pretty damn close, because this match had everything. This match, the tables, ladders, chairs, of course. The story was there. Lita, Edge's girlfriend at the time, was there. And then, of course, the spot. Who can forget the spot where Cena had Edge on the ladder, on top of the ladder. He FU'd him through 2 freaking tables. Cena went in there as an underdog. That's the rare underdog. Went in there and beat Edge to stay on Raw, to win the WWE Championship. And the only person there to support Cena was his own dad. And, you gotta check out this match. You gotta check it out. Next, we got another match people don't really talk about enough for me. Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk, SummerSlam 13. This match was about betrayal. Paul Heyman betrayed CM Punk at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view when CM Punk was about to win the Money in the Bank briefcase for the 3rd time. Paul Heyman betrayed him to align himself with Brock Lesnar again. And Brock and Punk just had a masterpiece. They had a masterpiece. David versus Goliath. CM Punk, he was having banger after banger. He had, the 2 matches with The Rock that year, the Undertaker match, the Cena match on that Raw. Now going against Brock Lesnar, first time ever type deal. These two went at it. Brock Lesnar, the freaking beast that he is. CM Punk, small compared to Brock. Punk was holding his own. He could have won if Paul Heyman didn't get involved. But Brock Lesnar eventually prevailed. It took, what did Brock do to finish him? What did he do to finish him? I think it was just the F5 on the steel chair. I think it was something like that. But it took a lot to beat CM Punk. CM Punk looked strong, but I wish that he didn't lose to 3 straight part-timers in Undertaker, The Rock, and now Brock. That's 3 part-timers in the same year. He lost all 3 of those matches, but all those matches were bangers. They were fire. Man. But yeah, check that out, SummerSlam 2013. Next we have Randy Orton versus Cactus Jack, aka Mick Foley from Backlash 04. Like I said before in my previous videos, this is Orton's best match. This match made Randy Orton to who he is today. Randy Orton would not be Randy Orton without Mick Foley. This match made Orton dig down deep, let him show the audience that he's not just some pretty boy, just some off finesse type guy. He can get down to the nitty gritty. He can get down in the trenches and prevail. And that's what Randy Orton did. He got thrown off the rampway. He got thrown through tables, barbed wire.